Other ways to visualize your scenes, because not all of us, let's face it, we're not all list people. So this is the next session in writing killer scenes, become a scene expert in just one day. So the other way is to visualize your scene. If the thought of a scene list brings you back to bad outlining moments in grammar school, do not stress. There are other ways to visualize those scenes in your novel. I might be one of those people. I've written many a scene list, but sometimes my brain rebels and I go to my favorite way to do this, which is storyboarding. A lot of screenwriters and author illustrators do this storyboarding thing, and I do it too. Basically, you take a storyboard, see the resources at the end, and then sketch it out. It's like you create an image for each big scene and moment. You can even do this frame by frame, but a lot of us are too lazy for that. Instead, we make the image for the scene and then write out what happens in the scene, its setting, its goal, its POV character. So like, here's one, a very cute, adorable example of storyboarding. Index cards are another way that authors visualize and try to organize their story. It's a really old standby. And when I was starting off writing novels instead of poetry and newspapers like I'd done before, it was a super big trend, even though Vladimir Nabokov did it and people try not to be like him. So with index cards, you can move them around, which is so much fun. You can reorder your ideas. You can put them on cork boards. You can get off your computer if you want to and touch things. And Scrivener app actually has the ability to create computer note cards within it, but sometimes it's good to stand up and use a real note card that you can touch and bend and your cat can eat. My cats eat everything. So you can use a card for each scene or use a card for each chapter and list the scenes. There's no one proper way to do this. Write setting, your word count, your point of view for the scene or the chapter, summaries, or whatever it is that you think you need to keep track of. Here's a really great example of one. You can see like they have like questioning the man's motive, showing her strong physical attract. A little background, he tries to make love to her. What now? What if? And some of these notes, I didn't realize I was going to end up reading that one. They might not make sense to us, random people reading this writer's thoughts, but they make sense to the writer, and that's what matters. Your notes only need to make sense to you. Another way to visualize your story is mind mapping. And I don't do this, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try it or love it, because not all brains work the same, even when it comes to writers. So basically, you write something in a circle in the center of whatever you're writing on, a notebook, your spouse's forehead, the computer file, it doesn't matter. Then you add more circles and more circles, extending or branching out from your original circle, like here. The key concept can be anything. The name for the heroes, mafia ties in, ways to show doubt, freedom. And then you have all these beautiful arrows. Dialogue, what's he wearing, setting, what happens if she runs? And you just free yourself and write what you think. It's pretty cool, right? There's no one way to visualize your story. It can be a scene list. It can be index cards. It can be a Pinterest page. It can be mind mapping or a storyboard. You get to decide because you're the writer. The images above come from the following places, which have cool, in-depth explanations about each technique. Mary Christie and Mind Mapping Your Book, a line from Linda and index cards, and a story template. And this is where the images came from this time.